Good morning, Dr. Brad. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Curt Brad for the Natural Law Institute. It's Saturday, November 16th, 2024. This is a working session where we make the sausage of our work, so to speak. We are getting very close to the end of finishing volume 1, which is system of measurement. Today, I believe we have remaining only three significant edits to work on, or sections to complete is really the way I look at it. There are three holes that we need to clarify, and then we have a bunch of minor stuff.
Okay.
That minor stuff is almost exclusively where I have to explain how I use. I'll use, like, in a definition, a couple of synonyms rather than a long textual explanation.
Right.
And I have to explain why I do that and why it doesn't read as well, but it scans better. I think we're going to have to go do some of that. That will not be difficult, but because replacing, let's say, a term in 3 synonyms, which is basically geometry, right? It's geometric boundary around a concept, is very parsimonious. And then turning that into prose gets quite lengthy. And I am not sure one of the reasons I left it that way for the people, to the reviewers, was to see if it mattered, and it didn't appear to. Nobody commented at all on it. So I want to address that issue in the beginning area. So once we're at that point, I think this is going to be ready to give to a professional. And so we are, like you said, we're not that far from being done. In fact, the only thing that I see preventing us from being done with this book or stalling it is just the fullness of stuff going on in my life right now. And the second thing being that these are these are the hard problems, like these little subtleties. This one particular we're going to work on today, which is methodology. It makes me tired, Now, I was reading about how someone else who's quite prolific works, and he basically can manage. Most people can get 3 to 4 hours, right? You can, if you're top notch, you can get 3 to 4 hours, right? That's about what we can do, right? But he gets a second session out of the day.
Wow.
And he does it by completing the session, then basically relaxing, exercising, taking a cold shower. And meanwhile, he's fasting. I can't do the fasting thing. I can't think if I don't have food. So taking a cold shower, and then repeating the hard working session, then doing the same thing I do, which is, you read a few papers and then you find something entertaining to do. He reads, I watch videos because I need more context change help. So I was like, I don't know. I have I have days where I can work a little bit more at night, but it's not another 4 hours. I mean, I can't do that. Not on this stuff. It's not possible. But he's also younger than I am, and I used to be able to work longer when I was quite a bit younger. Anyway, so that's my prep for it. And Brad is so you got to understand, Brad's office is in his shop, right? He has a huge shop, right? His office, and apparently the heating system is not supplying it. So so Brad's the equivalent of the secretary who's complaining that it's cold in the air conditioning, and he has a heater.
May I have another lump of coal, Mr. Scrooge, please?
I love you. So I just want to, the reason I say that is for us to appreciate just how heroic this man is.
Oh my.
to get up in the morning and drag me through this and do so in the cold.
Yeah.
Anyways, but you've ordered a wood stove, I understand.
Right, a camp stove
Yes.
that I will install in the window.
Uh-huh. And and so you will have, but it's not. I just want to show your aesthetics here. Is that it's not really just the wood stove. It's the fact that it is a wood stove, that it would have a real fire burning in it. And
That's it. I want some fire.
you want some fire. It's the realness of it that's attractive. See over here to this side. See that we have a gas.
Mm,
I don't actually use it. I find they make the place too warm.
mm,
You know, my friend Todd, when he built his house, rebuilt his house he bought a house that was owned by a single mother with 6 boys,
mm.
which basically mean there were holes in the walls and the things. And he's turned it into quite the manse, really, himself. Extended the house, whatever. But one of the main things he did was re-insulate the place. Um, and he put in this gas fireplace, like these things. He can heat the whole freaking house pretty much with the gas fireplace. It's amazing. Anyway, am I prattled on long enough? I am stalling a little bit so that I give myself time to wake up and have the coffee in me.
Right?
Right. But all right. So you have anything you want to cover this morning?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I've got coffee and I'm raring to go.
I made the mistake of using real coffee when I first got here. Uh,
Then what happened?
these are really good, and it was really not good for me. So they've gone back to decaf coffee. The problem is the difference in taste is depressing. This is really good. This is the Starbucks instant coffee. All right, so I'm watching Brad. I have these background processes at work, and because we've worked together for quite a few, for not quite a few, but for a few years now, and I have these background processes that monitor Brad's facial expression because I'm ready for him to tell me, Doolittle, get on with it. Doolittle, shut up. Okay, you've made
Oh
your
my.
back on it. I have all these, and I can tell this by his facial expressions, right? Right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm recognizing he's like, okay, will you shut up now? Can we get to work? So that's what I'm doing.
Micro interpretation.
It's more like you take on a stillness, right? That is not natural for you, except when you're forcing yourself to be patient.
Are you training all the other people on how to recognize my micro behaviors?
No, I'm not. I'm just loving you, and the people appreciate. I know the people who watch appreciate it. All right.
Those hardy souls.
Oh, I can't believe they watch this shit. I'm behind again by like 5 or 8 videos again, so I'm gonna get shit for that. So and that's because I'm cautious of my local disk space, and I've used up the disk space online, so I had to copy down to an arc. I mean, it's just all this stupid, nonsense. All right. Anyway, let's get started.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to move you over to my left window. I'm going to share my screen. I think we're still logged in.
We're working on the method.
Yep. I am not sure. I'm just logging in without showing my passwords and stuff. Give me a second.
Right.
Uh,
That seems very reasonable to me.
so All right, so methodology. Okay. Here.
There we go.
All right. So while I want to delve right into, I will find it, you don't have to watch. Applying the method to first principles. Well, I want to delve into this section, which is the one we have to complete, which is the this is hard work, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's going to take a little review in order to get in the frame of reference to do this.
Okay.
Because this is a little bit of a lot.
Yep.
All right. It's like I could draw a picture, Brad, and it makes sense, but because when we're doing this, you've got some pattern here. Actually, no, I'll save that for later. Let's go over to the beginning. And I uploaded the chapter. And I had some observations, right?
Okay.
We're discussing the method at a level of language first, principles, the language, then first principles, grammars, and the scientific method of inquiry that produces the raw knowledge that must be integrated into language, first principles, and grammar. Right? So we have these separate topics, right? The language itself, basically the terms itself, terms, phrases, sentences, narratives, right? Then we talk about grammars, which is the paradigms of internal consistency of those things and how we measure them. And then we have the first principles, which are sort of a unification of you take the linguistics, the terms, phrases, sentences, which are measurements. Then you take a set of first principles at some given scale, which consists the paradigm, and then you produce a logic, which is the system of reasoning, the system of logic within that bounded paradigm, right? And then you talk about, so that's one, and then you have the system of scientific inquiry, which is in two parts: how to discover it. I'll get into that later. But the system of scientific discovery that provides the raw knowledge that goes into producing the terms, and sentences, the paradigms, the grammars, the first principles, which are then organized into grammars. So I mean, that's what we're trying to cover, is show how that system sort of all works together, right? Right. And so the second thing is the method is the same at all levels, with the only difference being variations in how to achieve each step in the method because of the paradigm we're working in. I don't know if I cover this. So when we're working, we have to work in it out of ignorance within some domain, right? Which then we create some terms for, which then we discover some first principles for, which then we discover some grammar for, right? So we develop this system here. So that's within the domain. The
Right.
second thing is that we have to take those first principles and convert them to the evolutionary computation. How do those first principles arise from evolutionary computation? And we have to do so in harmony with the prior state and the post state, right? The post level. Does this make sense?
Yep.
And so I don't think I've said it that clearly before. And so I think we should lay out that we need to lay out that problem statement of at that level of simplicity, so that people can understand what we're actually going to go about and do. Or
Sure.
Go ahead.
No, that makes sense.
Right. But even so, we still see the process of inquiry, the derivations by the sciences versus the synthesis, the integrations, right? So you have the negativa of science, right, and the positiva of synthesis, right? We have these two aspects, right? And the synthesis is what we're contributing is the synthesis by the ternary logic of evolutionary computation, bounded by limits rather than preferences or choices, right? So we're creating this universal system of measurement and an unambiguous grammar across this spectrum of evolutionary computation, right? So I think we need to explain this consistency of what we're doing, right? I think we need to include the construction from first principles of the ternary logic when we discuss mapping the prior plane of causality to the current plane and to the post plane. And I haven't done any work on that because it's really intuitive to me. So I haven't done it so we can articulate it. And I can't decide whether the chapter should be organized to first answer the question of how to use the method, assuming have the results of the sciences in some domain, and then describe the method, how the method applies to science, or to do the reverse. I favor first principles first, science second, because I think it might confuse the reader if we try to delve into the process of discovery before we complete the arc of the process of synthesis. In other words, we've been talking about synthesis all along, and I don't want to make this side fucking trip, right? And I'd rather explain what we're doing and then explain the science of how we get these things, because the next chapter is science and the next chapter of that is reporting. So I have an internal conflict over that strategy.
What do you mean?
It just seems to me if the process starts with science and ends up with all this other stuff, we should do it. I'm not sure it starts. I think it's a ternary logic process where science is a process of investigation, right? The application is a process of testing it, and synthesis is the process of integrating it. And I just see that triangle as a very messy competition, right? That
Yes.
coalesces. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Over the course of our conversation, we conflated the steps of investigation with those of synthesis, even though I think I have largely corrected that in the document I've attached. There are inconsistencies in the content of each of those steps that I think could use remediation, though I'd prefer to do that one at a time once we've solved the problems I've stated so far, right? So that's my analysis of the chapter. Did that come across? Did I do a fair job there?
Yeah. Looks like there's a stepwise discussion, which is how within a discipline the process functions, okay?
Yep.
And then the application of the process between disciplines,
Yes.
which is making note of patterns that occur across disciplines, and then applying them and creating a new language that synthesizes it. That's
Correct.
But it's like, so I think that we approach it in such a stepwise fashion, which gets us back to evolutionary computation and the ternary logics.
Mhm. Do you think you can hold on to that in your head while we do this?
Sure.
So we need all that introduction up front, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna. Is it steps or, yeah? Why is it way out there, Brad?
What's that?
I don't understand why it made it go out there. So why is this indented then?
Hmm. Hmm.
How did that happen? I think it's right down there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now that I can't revisit, I didn't write down what you said. What are the steps we have?
Goes like this. There's an evolution of logics, languages, and grammars within a discipline.
Yep. Okay.
So the methodology is applied within a discipline and creates the logics, languages, and grammars that are common to that discipline that is uncommon to other disciplines. Then there's the notice of patterns that exist across disciplines in the logics, languages, and grammars. And then the application of and that's where we get the ternary logic from. Because those patterns are the ternary logic and the evolutionary computation.
This is to remind myself,
Yeah,
because we don't, I keep noticing this when I'm having debates, not debates, when the guys are asking questions, because they're sophisticated now. I mean, the team is, I mean,
okay,
if you go into the NLI, whatever it is, editors and such, the guys are the team and the editors, that they're sophisticated now. So uh, the thing I feel like I've missed,
hmm,
I'm not get across to them is limits-based reasoning,
okay,
right? And so what happens is that they don't get that decidability is determined by limits. You know, whereas endpoints, it's the same thing as long-term consequences, right? I mean, it's the same thing. So decidability is probably by limits, and that if you're not working with the limit, you're not working with the decidability, you're working with choice,
hmm,
right?
hmm,
That makes sense.
mm-hmm.
So give me 1 second. I have to respond to this. You know, when we first, I'm just gonna bring this up again. You know, when we first write it, I'm like, okay, that I see little flaw. Then when we go back and look at it like now, I'm like, fuck, this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the generalization of the method, that's what this is. That's why this title is not right. All right, so that's one.
Right,
Then how to apply it to language, right?
okay,
Jesus, this is really good, Brad. We do good work.
yes, sir.
Martin really hates this black cat thing. I think it's funny. Dear Martin, you have not spent enough time with Karl Popper. Think of it as an accounting system.
Okay.
Well, I don't use this. And it maps to law really importantly. So let's find the beginning again.
I want to capitalize USA.
So the point of what I want to do here is that from items to transformations to transactions to ledgers to what the fuck? What's going on? Ledger, you post to a ledger, which then you post to, excuse me, I got it backwards. That's why I was running.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Natural law. Let's just call it the method. I don't want to get down to that.
Right.
It should be the method, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me continue back down here. Make Brad sick again.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, this is good. Okay, so language, we've put that intro and language and we're okay.
Okay.
And so this is where we have to do the stuff we talked about. Frame this.
Okay.
I believe this is my first notes. And then this is what I thought. We should do, yes. Okay, so we're in better shape than I thought we were in.
Good.
Okay, we're in way better condition than I thought we were. Okay, so the problem I see here is this, each section isn't demarcated.
Okay.
So there's 5. Did we do this together?
Think so.
I've probably purged the suffering from my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Am I losing you?
No, I'm good. I'm hanging.
All right, so what I'd like to go through first. Holy fuck, brutal. This is brutal.
What?
This section is brutal. Chapter summary. All right, so we're going to put this in it. I'm going to lay out the, I'm adding these to the left-hand column here, right?
Okay.
That I can make sure that I do the transition between each. Whoops. No, that was correct. We're step 7.
There it is.
don't know if that's right. This is heading 4. No. So what I've learned from this is that we really just need this last refinement of producing the introduction and the transitions. So I'm a little worried I'm going to lose you during this
Why is that?
because it's a lot of me scrolling around.
What I'm gonna do is go get a vest and then I'll be warmer and that will make me happier.
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
see what I'm doing here. See what I'm doing here. I should write down what I'm doing while I'm doing it instead of looking back afterwards and saying, here's what I was doing.
Yes. Breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm. This is actually step one.
Okay.
Except that is what? It's actually here. And that goes there. So my indents were correct.
Okay.
Why is this impossible to do without you?
I don't know. There's I think there's a fatigue element that I'm taking on.
You
I-
take the fatigue.
Yeah, you just keep on going.
I think there's
Wait,
something
where-
in there. I
There's-
just all right. So where's process 2?
That's it. Where is number 2? That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, it's because operationalization is in there.
It's number 4.
Yeah, but we've already serialized them. So there's internal.
So we haven't specified making operational statements.
Here, let's go back and make sure I've not conflated two things. All right, now we got to go back up here. Where's generalization? No, that's what we've got. So we're missing fit. Fit probably goes. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. So let's just make sure we've got it here. We've got enumeration, right? Which is step 1, right? We've got serialization, which is step 3 here instead of step 2. Oh, I see what I did. You know what it is? You stopped me from going down rat holes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I think that's good.
It's good. It's very good. So we have 2 serialization. 3 is fit, which we don't have.
Mm.
I think this is the wrong order. Recursive verification. Yeah, okay. Causal parsimony. And restitution, which is, all right, we need to harmonize these terms.
Right.
Okay, so it's going to be a pain in the ass, Brad.
What's that?
It's going to be a pain in the ass. I'm going to see if I can save us some scrolling, if mostly out of consideration for His Highness.
Oh my.
There it is. Okay, so we're gonna do it this way, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so then we've got God damn it. Stop jumping around on me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wait a minute, am I doing this wrong? I did it. I lost my place. Give me a second. Yes, I did. Yeah. Mixed metaphors.
Hmm.
Okay, next there's step 3.
Yeah, there's too many references to step.
Yes. We just take, these aren't here. We'll take them out. Let's see what I could have done more easily. Give me a second. I think I just figured it out. Shouldn't have mixed the two. I should have just gone with enumeration. So I should have. So, yeah, that's what I made. That's the mistake I made. I tried to be too integrated. Okay, I have to figure what's the difference between those two. It just seems like those two are the same. Sorry, Brad.
Okay,
Okay, so we've solved a couple of issues here.
okay,
All right, so before what I was doing was I was intermixing the scientific method part with the integration part. So this
Yeah.
is simply analysis, right? And this is synthesis. All right, so I was confusing. I thought I was doing the process, and what I should have done is kept the two processes separate because they're essentially the same thing at two different scales, right?
right,
So we have the general method, general method, its application. Right,
yeah,
right. So we go through the steps 1 in analysis, and then we don't need step anymore, right?
no,
We just have causal discovery and enumeration, right? And
Which-
then
okay.
we just get rid of this, and we take these and move them.
Interesting. You're calling it analysis. I call it derivation.
Oh, it's the same thing, right?
I like the analogy to the mathematical.
Right. I'm only using this because that's the in philosophy. That's
Oh, it's philosophical.
and what is it, integration?
Yeah,
So let's maintain this
yes,
mathematical, philosophical
okay,
throughout. So all we're doing is saying we're going to take what we've learned from step 1.
right. And then crunch it through this similar process.
Right. And then repeat the process again. My heart is skipping. Why is my heart skipping? I'm probably not breathing. Okay. We have to add this. Right, it's missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is duplication.
Yes.
All right. Okay, now. I don't like the operationalism there. All right, so we have am I not breathing? Is that what's going on? Give me a second. Where's my sorry, this is really frustrating or tiring, Brad, but this is incredibly effective because I was trying to do this on my own. I couldn't do it.
Mm,
So can I demonstrate another appreciation for you?
that's fine. Thank you. Get the verses on step 6 above.
Okay, so okay, so the reason I broke those out is, God damn it.
What's that?
I'm shaking. I don't know if you have a, bearing down does, right, when you're reading.
Yes.
Well, it will make me, will make my heart palpitate and it will make me dizzy.
Hmm.
I don't know why I'm doing that because I'm not stressed. So it might be that I just can't breathe. All right, so what I want to figure out is how do we title these sections, right? I don't like operationalization here. I like it just serialization.
Yep.
I'm not sure what to call this section, right? I think this is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we found we have two different ways of phrasing this. I kind of like this, but I think I've been using this. So I think we need to, we could combine them somehow.
Mm-hmm.
If we do that, then we've made this system, this consistent, and then we have to work with just transitions, I think. So give me a second. All right. How do I do this, making it easy for you?
What do you mean?
Well, I've been dragging you around all over the place and right? And now I have to ask you questions about a specific context, which is, all right. And
Okay.
so, what I want to do is say, are these terms correct? We started out with enumeration, serialization. I guess, is it integration? I don't know what that means. It's actually a kind of falsification. This is a generalization. Because we're basically funneling stuff, right? We're funneling stuff from this one end where it's very application specific. It's actually instrumentation specific. So we start out, it's like the problem in physics, right? They've got all these models and things, and the system of measurement becomes the reference rather than the physical model. All right, so I'm going to go with solving this problem first.
Okay.
Which is that one, and actually second, and solve this one first, which is what do we call fitting? I think integration, but it would seem to me I'm just going to call it integration. it's not, it's kind of adaptation. No, it's integration, right? It's adaptation. It's a kind of falsification.
Hmm.
To have it. It's just a case of continual refinement. I think this goes the other way. And then you have 3 layers of falsification. That's probably where I went wrong in the first place. It's falsification. That's where I went wrong in the first place. Because that's really the only steps we should have. So it's just a process of refinement. All right. Oh boy. Okay.
Making progress, Curt?
Yes, I am, boss.
You didn't make enough noise.
You know, I got respect for the elderly.
Oh my.
Because you had to see that coming. I was sitting on that one. I was sitting on that one.
Waiting, locked and loaded. He's downrange. I've got him. I've got him in my sights. This is a hard section to get straight.
This is, well, it's the hard part, right? I mean,
Yep.
we've it's been killing me. So what I'm thrilled about is now we're just organizing it for readability. So I think this is really it. Why did I do that? Why did I put it in that order? Why even talk about? Why even talk about language first before I talk about how the method, the language? Why do I even talk about it? Oh, sorry, okay. So this is brutal. I'm sorry, Brad. If I can figure out how to explain this. Okay, so we're starting out with this chapter on the method, right?
Okay. A generalization of it. How to apply it to language. How to apply it to first principles. How to describe the discovery of first principles. Why am I doing that? Why am I just saying, why is, oh, it makes sense. Language, first principles, right? Right.
All right. This is part 2.
Hmm.
And then I'm just going to do this for.
Okay. Okay.
There's generalization, applying it to language, applying it to first principles, takes analysis and synthesis, right? This is phase 3. No, this is part 3. 3. And therefore that becomes heading 2. Statements. Questions. It's missing grammars. See, I was so focused on first principles, I got lost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so apologetic for dragging you through this, really. All right. Methodology. In chapters 1 through 9. Now in chapter 10, might as well fix that while we're at it.
Right.
First principles, chapter 3, chapter 4.
Mm. Mm.
Why can't you outdent? Well, let's find out. Now we'll do you. There we go. All right. This doesn't go. Okay, so shit, we did it. We did it. Oh, this is good, Brad. You know, you're not just a pretty face.
Your flattery is just something else.
No, I gotta provide some entertainment value if I'm doing nothing else.
There you go. You're helping the ardent listeners.
So the reality is this. Is that we have taken this. This is still falsification. So this is not that level, that is part of this. sub-step. I don't know. I'm going to just put this in here for. So this comes off of. This comes off of heading and goes into section subhead. Yes. And that goes. Here. Yes. I have to have something there to keep my head straight, so.
Yeah.
Update this. I feel so guilty having you sit through me doing this. But we're getting it done.
That's what counts.
Oh, we did that. That's good. All right. So we unified those. We divided those. We unified those. Now what do we got here? We got this. That's correct. That's correct. Causal parsimony. Restitution integration. Why have I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And why have I got 6, 7 over there? Wait a minute. Oh, I see. So there's 1, 2, 3, serialization, operationalization for adversarial testing. Oh, how did that happen? Where's my finger? Where's my finger? There we go. Thank you. Evaluation of serialization, adversarial testing, 3 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Causal parsimony integration. Enumeration. Serialization. Operation. Causal parsimony. Oh, it's because I because I'm a retard.
Hmm.
Fuck, we did it. Holy shit. Holy shit, Brad.
Hmm.
All right. I need a break now.
Coffee time.
Jesus, this is good. All right. I gotta have some goal while I'm taking a break here.
Okay.
I think it's that.
Hmm.
To that. Where's the introduction we said we needed to write? This is the introduction, right? This is the introduction.
Yeah.
So basically, what's in this chapter?
Hmm.
All right, pause.
Muy.
Well,
Said muy.
Brad just did his usual, we're not recording, are we? When I've already gone into what. All right, so we're working on how to apply first principles, which is the next section in the document now that Brad has been patient enough to sit through me while I torture him, trying to organize some text. I said, well, when we've worked on this stuff called first principles, right? We've got a list of first principles. We're sort of looking at some properties of them right here, right? And so, we've sort of toyed around with how many of them there are, depending on what. But I mean, there's less than 25 of them that answer most questions, right?
That's right.
Right. It's a small set because most of what we're concerned about in today, in our current area of crisis, is the means by which we've gone sideways, right? And how to create laws that prevent it. And so we've gone sideways for social, political, all these reasons. So we're concerned about the aspects of first principles that consist of the first principles of human behavior, right, at all scales. So, there's 25 rules there. I mean, I don't know. We go back and forth, right? Right. So when we get a question like, why is someone doing this? Or is this right or wrong or moral, immoral? Then how do we do it? How do we solve it? How do we use those first principles? So if I ask you, what's the question on abortion or something? Or what's the question on Islam? How would you go about using those first principles to explain the behavior you're observing?
how I do it is, I go with, so all the first principles apply. It is not a matter of whether or not they apply, but how they apply in this circumstance.
Okay. And so, okay, so now you've got to explain it to someone.
Yeah, I know. I know. There's probably the first principle say the sex differences, right?
Yep,
It goes down to responsibility.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Then the question is how the responsibility is being misapplied in the circumstances, or how it's being applied, right? Then if you're looking at group evolutionary strategies, it's a thing, it's between sexes similar.
Mhm.
So it depends on the scale of the social scale that we're looking at. Then the group evolutionary strategy has something to say, in addition to the sexual differences between men and women.
God, I think you just solved it. Fuck. I have no idea why I did that. Don't blame me. So there's basically there's a scale, right?
Right,
They all apply.
right.
It's bounded.
But the limits of applicability, right? Of the
I'm not sure if it's, so you said sex differences
yeah,
versus
civilizational differences.
differences. That's the boundary. And I'm thinking about that's because how often do we go down into acquisition?
It's like, what are you acquiring, right?
Yeah,
It's not whether or not you're acquiring, it's what are you acquiring. It's all acquisition. And it can be acquisition of avoidance of responsibility, right?
right, right. That's all it is. Is it really that simple? Is there, because does class differences really matter that much? Not excessive.
Not at all, not at all.
Yeah. Why did you have to make it? See, this is again, if when you get down to how simple it is, it's fucking exasperating.
Yep. Okay, that's one way to describe it. Because it's like it's very parsimonious, right?
Yeah.
Because the civilizational differences define the groups preferences and biases.
What question do we end, what do we really add up with? Those are the bounding conditions, right? Sex differences and civ differences. And everything is somehow in between them, right?
There's conflicts that arise, right?
Right.
That's where the conflicts arise because of those variations among people within groups. Huh.
You know how much time I've spent thinking about this?
I have no earthly clue.
Fuck you. It's fuck you. This is a fuck you time. This is when you do something that makes me pissed off because
Oh,
it's because I spend a lot of time on it and you just sort of throw it out at me. All right. Maybe you got a nap in there. Maybe that's why you have extra.
It livened me up a little bit. That neuron group was awake. It woke up fast. Coffee, fresh coffee.
Oh, I'm tired.
Mm.
I think this is that's it. Really cannot, my fingers are,
Yeah, thank you for that.
they're having, idiosyncratic expression during my typing. I have no idea why.
I understand.
It's really this simple.
So that's it. So there's number 1 and 2 are given. No, number 1, 2, and 3.
You mean it's given that A, B, and C? I don't know.
And then the all those are the givens.
Mm-hmm. And this is,
Well, see, the problem is that this is interesting. We haven't talked about civilizational differences in this book.
well, we haven't listed civilizational differences. We have talked about civilizational differences.
Okay.
Um, Look at that. It's even it. That's it. That's really that. So, this. Oh, I see. So, given that, therefore,
Okay.
how do I say this? Right.
Okay. Scale dependency, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. This is a causal hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh my.
I just want to know if it says anything.
Right. I respect that grudgingly.
I just want to know if it mentions you. Comes back to me.
Just cause. Thank you. That was just rude, that extra question. That was it, buddy.
See, so supportive.
That's right.
Okay, so we are we are now talking about Now that we have covered the use method to produce the first principles, we still have grammars and such to cover. We want to explain the logic of applying those first principles to questions that require our understanding. Our current outline looks like the attached text below. Whoops.
What? Hmm?
It puked. You can make it do that.
The when you say the process is,
Might have broke it.
the process, the question, there's a terminology used when we're talking about questions. It's given the question. Does that make sense? Here we go.
Keep going, boss.
There's parameters of the question at hand, and I don't remember what we used for at hand.
Okay, it's at hand. It's actually that's what we
It is that's what we're talking about in that second part.
What do you mean? Sorry, I didn't get it. Second part.
The process is for the question at hand, right? What is the scale of the question?
Okay.
And then how did the first principles apply, right?
Yep.
That causal hierarchy, okay, that one.
Well,
Causal hierarchy is certainly it's fixed, right? Just that's a static function, right? Yes. Yes. So the question is, what are what variations are at work here, right? What are the significant variability?
okay.
So there's a one of the questions is behavioral economics, right? That's one of the that behavioral economics has to fit into there too. In the hierarchy on above there. So behavioral economics goes after acquisition. Because the slaves prefer to behave in a slave-like manner. This is what's making me mad these days, so you know. Is the absolute erosion of educational standards for the purpose of behavioral education of the lower classes at the expense of the middle.
Yes.
That just makes me freaking irate because it's destructive.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to what is the right pandering?
Yes. I'm gonna take that video and give it to GPT and say, can you make steam come out of his ears, please?
Just I won't say any more because I risk our getting a slap on the wrist from YouTube or something.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through this.
Is pandering a crime that we talk about?
Yes, pandering is a crime. It's an evasion of responsibility. And it's basically, it's a soft version of baiting into hazard.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm going to capture that one just because you just said it.
Curt has lots of screens that are not visible to the audience, and I apologize for that.
I only have how many going right now? I only have 15.
He's kind of minimized. He's streamlined for this operation.
Panner's Kai is soft version.
That was very good. I think this is what's interesting about the science. When you say that, it's a soft version of baiting into hazard. Is like very easily understood to me, okay? By my study of this science. But I don't think that it would require significant explanation for someone who is naive to it.
No, I don't think this is.
Okay.
All right, so before I go deep into this again, can I ask you a question about you and your thought process or your process?
Okay.
Because I believe it will help other people. We are everybody in our group has got a hyper moral thing, something going on, right?
Huh.
Right.
Poor bastards.
So, right. So, and that's partly because we have enough we have sufficient lack of agreeableness, meaning need to conform, right? That we have lower tolerance for what we consider irreciprocities, right? Discussed
Okay.
everything from
Oh,
reciprocity.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Right. So you have I have a trigger for me that's when people are illogical. And and it has taken my entire life to moderate not getting angry when people are illogical. And I know this is autism, right? Because if you see people with very severe autism, they will
You
get,
can't contain it.
they can't contain it. All right. So my interpretation of you is that when you find something that is immoral, that you have very similar
Very,
reaction, right?
very intolerant.
You're very intolerant of immorality. And my suspicion, my understanding is that this is actually the origin of most conflict in your life.
There's a there's a function which is like this. The issue, the only question is this, because it's like moral outrage,
Yes.
the limit of cooperative potential, right?
Yes.
So what I find myself doing is watching how close to the line that everybody is. And so it's like there's a decision that I make,
Close to the line of what?
me being morally outraged.
Okay.
And it's like that was close. How close was it? Let me get the microscope out. Good Lord, right?
Right.
The question is, how bad do I want to keep cooperating with you right now?
Yes.
And I'm deciding. I'm like, okay. And then sometimes it's like a tight shave, like with these corporations. I'm like,
So when you're
well,
tired
like,
or otherwise exasperated, is it harder for you to maintain composure?
no, it's like it's on or off. It's so I'm like, I'm dealing with people online, okay? So
Right.
patients. And they're just going on and telling me a bunch of what they deem to be worthy of my time and attention.
Uh-huh.
That is really not. It's just wasting my time. And I'm like, okay, but it makes them unloading their buffer, right? And it's like satisfying their need to feel like they're contributing. And I go, okay, or how you're getting there. And it's like when I'm getting there with the patient, it's like, okay, I'll interrupt you at some point. That's me not cooperating with your little exposure, your little confession or whatever you want to call it, right? But I'm still cooperating because I'm working with them in the context.
Yeah.
Like I was morally outraged this week because the guy that I fired, I think I told you about this yesterday. The guy that I fired previously, who avoided getting fired from the practice by virtue of being thrown in jail so he couldn't receive his certified letter. He
So
escaped.
you fired a patient. You fired a patient because he was a dick, and then
No, he was way over the line as far as I'm concerned.
yeah,
And I'm like, I found out that I didn't know that he avoided the censure because he went to jail because he can't get certified letters there. And it's like, well, get him out. I have no interest in I don't even want him in the building with me. I don't want him seeing anybody in that building. I'm like, I got no interest in any kind of participation with him.
God.
So it is like, it's like this. It's just, okay, how close am I to walking? Because that's what I judge. I think about it real hard too. I'm like, how bad do I want to keep doing it, whatever it is?
Mhm.
And so when that's my moral outrage. I'm like, okay, then I'll split. I don't care. But I don't get mad. I don't get mad.
No.
I just said, is that enough? I better check. Let me just check my dial. Get the calipers out, right? The little micrometer.
Jim Beebe was a lot like you in this way, and he was also morally. What's one of the reasons I love working with him? It's just moral conviction was a big thing, and so he was really good at being an understanding. And he actually took what do you call it? Assertiveness classes, because digital equipment made him take them when he was an executive, not because he needed to learn how to be assertive, but so they could learn not to be so. So, so he was similar to you, but he would go on the attack. If he was the guy that would go. I mean, I would lose my shit way before him, right? You'd be out the fucking door, right? Which is why I don't get involved in those conversations, right? But he'll work with you. But if he thinks you're immoral, it's over. You're done. Your career's over. You're fired. I will burn you. I mean, he's just one of those. And I just find that so comforting to be around people who keep limits. Does that make sense?
That's right.
And so the difference is how each of us learns to control that moral outrage. And it's one thing to be more outraged if you're a nitwit and you're wrong. Right. It's another to be somebody like Jim, who, I mean, if you want to learn about life from somebody, I mean, that's someone you want to learn about life, especially if it's business or the world, right? So, I mean, together, he and I were pretty devastating, right? I mean, a pair of guys. That's why we built so many successful companies together. But the thing that I notice when I'm talking to you and the other guys, right, is how much responsibility we take for altering the other person. Like if you ask Brandon, he'll tell you, but he's gonna basically avoid you. Right? Does that make sense? Luke won't really do it unless you
don't break the glass.
Right. Well, you wouldn't want to break it in. That would be fucking scary. But I mean, he doesn't want to get it. I will do it if you're betraying the group or the loyalty of others, right? I mean, and if it's not that, then I just will ask, well, like, do you want me to explain this to you? Right? Because I don't want to offer it. It just does which creates.
Yeah, we just don't do that.
We just don't do that. And then you have things where you just can't tolerate them. And I think I notice with you, you have this thing where you have a moral conundrum sometimes when it's like, I need to give somebody some you're so responsible that you take responsibility for others to the point where I really have a moral responsibility to tell this person what the options are, because they're actually doing a harm. And then what I've heard you explain to me is this relationship going to be so harmed by doing that? And that's actually a conundrum for you, right?
Yeah, that can be a problem, I suppose.
Yeah. I usually do that where, I always tell people, I care about you, right? The only reason I'm talking to you is because I care about you. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't talk to you. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't even think about you, but I care about you.
Right.
So, but I want to say, I feel I need to say something that is in your interest, even if you don't like me for it. Right? Almost everybody says, tell me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Almost, they have to really dislike you in the first place not to. But as long as you've told people,
call that a fair disclaimer.
What?
That's a fair disclaimer.
right? It's like, it's only because I give a shit, right? I mean, and then sometimes I have the problem where I'm in autistic mode. I'm thinking about something like money or business or something, right? And then somebody comes into my mental space. I don't switch gears, and then I don't.
Download the straight stuff without the disclaimers.
Well, it won't be mean or something. It'll just be, it's caused by this. That's what you're doing. Blah blah blah. Then I go back, and the person is sort of, they're just where did that come from, right? Because the plane you're operating on,
That's right.
not the plane they're operating on, right? They're usually wrestling with some internal thing.
That's right. That's right. So it's interesting, this intolerance of irreciprocities as morality, as not, I don't need to conform. It is, there's a need to conform that is the inverse of the intolerance of irreciprocities.
Correct.
I never had that equation made before. I think that's interesting.
I mean, but the whole point I want to get across here is you have a bunch of us who have this sort of awareness, right? And we have, I mean, you want to get, if you will prompt Brandon to say more than 3 words in sequence, you will get smart shit out of that man. I mean, it's worth listening to. I mean, and he says very little that isn't worth listening to, right? And so, but he doesn't feel the responsibility to do it as much as he wants people not to cause him problems because of their ignorance, right? It's right, right. um, I'm like in the position of, if it doesn't hurt me, but I have a responsibility to anybody I care about, right? And you feel the same. You have a responsibility to someone you care about. The problem is that I find is, have you gotten to the point where you can say it without your outrage?
Oh,
Right? That's the issue, is that you're bearing the responsibility. We're bearing the responsibility, but can you say it without the outrage? And I find that to be that was the hardest thing, because my outrage will come across as you're stupid, right? Does that make sense? Other people's outrage would come across as I'm arrogant, right? I mean, it doesn't, your outrage comes across differently. The problem is when you reach that trigger of moral outrage, is your outrage being communicated, or is the substance being,
oh, right. Yeah, I don't show the madness.
Well,
I don't show the madness. I don't care about that. I just, you'll get the answer, and
right.
you'll understand it, and it will be quite clear. And there will be that will be that, and you won't have to suffer any of the emotional storm on drown.
All right. So thank you for that little discourse. I know there are people out there who can't put that set of feelings into words.
The issue is this: how bad do you have to express it emotionally?
Correct.
And that's what we're talking about, because it's like, once I decide I'm done with it, it's done. And I don't need any of the emotional baggage that's associated with the expression.
Yeah.
Because that's how much energy does it take to flip the bit is all that matters.
Yes.
I check the bit. It's like, oh, it's not flipped. It's okay. I just have to knuckle under for a minute. This is what we call a minor indignity at this point.
Yep.
Right? But sometimes I have to check. Seems like that was close. I better check.
I almost always regret when I lay it out there, because usually it hurts people. That's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
I don't want to hurt people. And it's very, truth is a very easy thing to injure with.
Oh, yes.
And so I don't want to hurt people. I don't need more enemies, and I don't have that many, but I don't need more enemies in the world, right? And so, but I have points where, and I can think, I use one example all the time where I fired somebody in public in front of the whole fucking team, right? And
Mm.
because he hit that moral outrage for me is I'm I'm I know what I am, right? But I mean, you don't shit on other people on your team when it's your fault, right? You take it, we forgive you, and then we help you, right? But you don't do blame games on the team. That's just not okay. And that is what disloyal. I know, because a lot of people have empathy, right? And so they feel, but when you don't have all that stuff, you have loyalty,
Right.
right? Because that's the masculine expression of empathy is loyalty, right? And so for me, my trigger is loyalty. I don't care to me. If you don't want to be loyal to me, just go away, right? But I've got to take responsibility for protecting my people.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, I think this is an interesting conversation.
That's
Somebody,
what caused me to fire that guy, because he was being offensive to my staff.
yes.
And I'm like, I can't have him in the building. All right, let's get back to work. Not that we weren't just working. Where are you? You're on your side. You're on your sidebar.
Mr. Doolittle managed to attract an entire thread of commenters even crazier than he is. That that said, his opinions on eugenics are entirely reasonable. Yeah, I mean it's not you've got this beautiful grid here. Over. He's got this beautiful grid here. It's just 3 IQ points, right? It's you don't the effect size is huge.
Oh, that's the effect of the fluoride. That's well within the effect of fluoride.
So the point with is that what happens when a population gains 3? That's just 3 points. So a standard deviation is 15 points.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a big fucking deal when you're 15 points of difference. But because look at these numbers, right?
Yes.
It's terrible. So,
Or terrific. Terrific.
why is it? Well, theoretically, you should be able to gain a point or so every X number of years in demonstrated intelligence, right? Your real G isn't probably, in other words, your biological, excuse me, your G is increasing, but your biological facility isn't, right? But just, you know, being a pinball in the universe will eventually train you, right? I mean,
That speaks volumes to my life. The great pachinko machine of life.
it's brutal. Give me 1 second to save this image because I haven't kept this. Um, all right. And so I'm intentionally taking a break, Brad.
Yes, I know.
You know, so there's a thread that I went on. It was started by Richard Dawkins,
Okay.
and it's a Trump derangement syndrome thread. So I just have taken this very simple thing. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand what Trump does and how simple it is and how consistent it is and frankly how moral it is. And so all these people come back to me. I haven't had a single argument yet. It's just attacks, right? But I use every attack to educate, right?
Okay.
And so I do these every once in a while. Now, partly I do it because it's entertaining. Partly the real reason I do it is because it's entertaining to followers, right?
Yes.
The real reason I do it. But the other reason I do it is because I struggle to understand the inability of these people to get over what is their moral outrage,
Mm,
right?
mm,
They're morally outraged, but they can't introspect on it. They have, it's like they have no ability to get beyond, I don't like this person,
mm.
and get into,
Oh,
well,
yeah, no, that, in that particular, what, it's, group conditioned reflex.
right, and they're consistently reinforced by other people with this sort of behavior. And
Right,
so,
they're encouraged.
right, it's like the fact that humans can speak is a byproduct of the hierarchy of, but just because you can talk doesn't mean you have intelligence, right? Or you have ability, um,
Wait, wait.
or agency.
I think Luke said it well. It's like, just because you can talk doesn't mean you should.
Yes, exactly. Um,
I yes, I understand this one because it's failure of introspection is quite interesting, right?
yes.
There's an introspective potential that is to be considered.
All right. I think I have cleansed my brain.
All right.
All right. All right. So we wrote this really cute little outline.
Right.
Now I put it into GPT and it came out with some prose, which is basically a repetition.
Right.
The first dumb question I have, I got to go back down there again now that I've screwed that up. Oh, can I have it repeat the Brad sleeping thing? Where was that? I would watch that again. Just I would read that one again, just for yucks.
Right.
All right. So the first question is, and I run into this all the time. This is how I would normally write, right? I mean, this is here, right? This is right. I would change. It's really simple, right? But is this actually better? I think it's more readable. That's what people say.
Yes. Yes.
Great. That's an example. So I think this is really it, right?
Yeah. That's it right there. Thank you.
Hello. There we go. I don't like this paragraph. I do like this.
Okay. This is specific to behavior, right?
Yes,
So applying the first principles to behavioral questions, right?
mm-hmm.
I would specify that in the subsection title.
Let's do it. Let's do it to behavior. Let's do it in general.
Hmm. Okay.
How does that change that? Scale. They all apply. It's
Not
also
all acquisition. It's all accumulation, right?
right.
Yes. That's funny too. And it's not behavioral, it's just supply demand curves, right?
Mm.
At every level of complexity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plane of complexity, excuse me. Okay. Skip that one.
Yeah, is that I don't know. It's bounded by something. Bounded by possible operations. Bounded by plane of causality.
Bounded within the limits of each plane of causality.
What is it? What's the opposite of conflicts? Failures. It's both. It's opportunities.
Well, it will be yeah, outcomes, right? It's
Yep.
just outcomes. Success is accumulation and failure is loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was good.
Okay, so we're going to take. I'm going to say. The hell? Okay, so I'm going to do this and this. Okay, so. Oops. I was like, where'd he go?
Right?
Thank you.
Very nice. Hmm. Hmm.
That's fucking beautiful.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. How does it
Mhm.
answer? Respondents, that's great. As you can see.
What's that?
Oh, it's pretty simple, really. It's quite nice. Okay, can we? I don't know if I hit it or not. Yes, I did. Jesus Christ, this is fucking good. Yeah, and you can make this thing smart if you work at it.
Very good.
So my instinct is to keep these as titles and put this underneath it. In other words, this
They
is,
have it, it's done it there.
oh, it already has. You're so smart. Why you know,
They just read it.
don't be a dick.
Okay. I'll do my best.
I don't think it's possible. I think it's your basic form.
So the patient yesterday, one of the patients came in and they're talking to the medical assistant. I think I told you this story, but I'll tell it to the other guys that are bold enough to be listening to this broadcast, which is the patient. She was relaying the story to the other medical assistant. And she said, I can make an appointment with Dr. Werrell. Patient said, is he still bald?
Oh, that's fucking great.
And she's like this. She was put on her heels. She didn't know what to say, so she didn't say anything. And then the guy started laughing. Is he still bald? And she said, I guess so. And so I said, I was
I
telling
would
the
love this guy.
She was telling that to me, but then I was relaying the story to the other medical assistant. And I said, when she told me this, I thought the patient was going to say, is he still a dick? That's what I prefer to hear. Some things are invariant, right?
Oh, fuck. That is brilliant. For the physical.
All of these are true.
Fuck. I remember two women coming into a business I was running at one point, and and one of the women says, I hate that man. Let's go. And I'm like, what the fuck did I ever do?
Mm.
Because they're out there in the hall, and you know how when people talk in a hall, you can hear it inside.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck did I ever do? You know, it's probably some debate over a return or something like that. And the company didn't take returns. I mean, you know, it just didn't, right?
So, yeah.
Wasn't my fault.
I earned the epithet from a fellow because I will read the riot act to the patient when they're causing harm to themselves by their behavior.
Yes.
And I will let them know in no uncertain terms how they are causing themselves problems.
Yes.
That's when the guy said he didn't want to see me because I was a dick. And he repented. He thought I was okay after that. He
Yeah,
didn't get it out of his system.
of course.
And that's okay.
Sometimes we must let people emote.
That's what's okay.
Just
Look at that.
assist them in their therapy.
That's so nice.
It's just hard to develop that. Take that responsibility to develop that tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that turned out to be a lot easier than we wanted it. Thank you, GPT, for the help.
Yes.
So I want a summary. Wait a minute, that didn't happen.
What?
Hold on, I just screwed up. This is wrong. Fuck.
Oh, that's not correct. Yeah. You just put it in the wrong place?
I don't know what I did.
No.
So can you repeat? Wow, I don't know what happened. Brad missed a misspelling. I don't believe it. It actually
I
happened.
saw it. I didn't say anything about it because I knew
Oh my God.
up on it.
You're such a dick. There we go. That's correct.
I can only hold so much in my buffer at the same time.
Is this, are you getting me back for I was teasing you earlier? Is that what's going on?
Not
Because that's
even
what
yet.
it was.
We're still balancing
We're
out.
still, there's more to go, huh? I could have done this the proper way. I just don't feel like it.
It worked.
Do.
Okay. That seems repetitive to me somehow.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay. No. The go back up to the physical that you just fixed. Okay. Okay, so go given that, okay, pull down. Then it goes into there you go, premises. Okay, there you go. Now they have a different formatting because they're not spaced out like the other ones are. You see how you have a space between them?
Yeah, I did that because that was hard to read.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to make
I
sure.
don't think these are as good.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, so what do we want now? Just save me some effort here.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, Curt?
I'm riding high, brother.
Good.
I didn't get a nap like you did, so I'm kind of. Hi. Hello with you. Great.
Hmm. Is that in the location you want it, that us heading?
Give me 1 second. Give me that again.
You want summary to be there in that location? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I want to get rid of these though.
What's interesting about this is it's operates at a fairly intuitive level,
Yes.
and it's hard to elaborate verbally what you've done when you do that work, because it's like the articulation of it is more complex than it might seem.
Yes. Yeah, I want to make a difference. I want to note the difference between the universe's inability,
Hmm.
the assembly
Two S's, yeah.
Well, you spend more time with asses than I do. See, that's what he does. And for me, the joy I get out of that, you just can't imagine.
It gives pause.
You're such a gentleman.
So my.
I want to know the difference between the universe's ability to predict the assembly's ability to constrain potentials, constrain and expand.
Hmm. Yes.
You and your posture shit. It's making me think about it all the time.
Sorry, brother.
Quite nice. I might need to massage that a little bit, but that is quite good.
Random. It's not random. It looks random.
Give me a second.
I'm going to discuss this with you in a moment.
Why does that feel like I'm going to get my ass kicked?
Oh my. So a guilty conscience.
I have reasons for having a guilty conscience. I
I
don't know.
understand. So this is okay. Evolutionary computation. Ever increasing rates of evolutionary computation, right?
Okay, let me catch up. Okay, say that again.
It's ever increasing rates of evolutionary computation at higher degrees of complexity. Right?
Yes.
So you people with nervous systems, you overestimate the value of prediction, right? As consciousness, overvalue the construct of consciousness. And the reality is you're merely attracted to that which you recognize potential in. Just like an electrical charge. It's no damn different.
There you go, being humiliating again.
Sorry, brother.
There it is. Yeah, but I want to capture what you said there.
So evolutionary computation at ever increasing rates and ever increasing scales of complexity. Really ever, but not every.
Why did that happen?
I don't, I'm operator error, I think. I don't know. That was a weird, you missed the at and E in the middle there, right after it. Yeah. Huh.
Is that better?
No.
No.
just watch what you do. It's like, okay, he's just gotcha. If I wait long enough, I'll see the sidelong look into the screen. You're just checking out to see if you got a response. I just checking. That was a good little set right there. It turned out quite well.
It's really good right there. God damn it, why do I keep doing that? Again, I struggled over that for quite a while. That was much easier. I'm betting we're done for the day, but I don't know if could I do this? Could I do this? You done?
No, I can go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, summary is a conclusion. Summary, I need a summary. Okay, here's the section.
Wait, that is the summary.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay, I don't, call me stupid, I was stupid, okay. Okay. Now. I think I might have missed one. I have to do paradigm before I do grammars. Or not. Grammar is a logic of a paradigm. What's the difference?
I don't see much difference. The logics, languages, and grammars are paradigm.
Okay. See, this is, what the fuck, Brad? It keeps all of that. Okay.
Hmm. It's impressive.
I don't know if I do want to do that.
You gonna add the text?
I'm going to put this here.
I'm asking.
I'm trying to think if I want to prime it that hard. I think
Oh,
I was thinking,
no, just run it without that part.
run it without it.
And then we'll see if it does, if we don't like it, we do it again.
Okay. Fuck. I can't believe it did that. I just can't. Can't.
Wow.
I can't believe it did that. Ah.
Huh.
I get such a chuckle when it gives me the silly responses.
Yeah. Hmm.
Fuck. I'm gonna copy this right and we'll work from this outward.
Right.
No. Jesus Christ, that's pretty good.
Liked it.
I just ran out of gas. Fascinating.
I'm there.
I'm there.
I was gonna tap out. I'm like, okay, I think I've hit the limit.
I just hit mine. All right, I hit mine. Okay, do we get to claim victory for today? Because that was a good day.
Was a good day. That was a hard chapter. I think we mostly nailed it.
All right, I want to close with something with some laughter, but now I'm wiped out.
I don't have enough juice, man.
All right. Oh, we made our 4 hours today, so that's pretty good. All right. Can you do your thing, please?
And do it. Just for the audience, this is your opportunity. When Curt's not looking, you can hit the subscribe and then the like. Look, wait, he's gonna blink. And then the notification bell. Then you can leave comments again, just like last time, except even better.
Except even better?
Even better.
Oh, I'm going to stop sharing. And you can see your charming face while you say all that. All right, Dr. Brad, it's been Saturday, November 16, 2024. It's a working session, Brad and I on. This is the Natural Law Volume 1 System of Measurement. We are doing Chapter 10 of, we've only got the science reporting and tying it all together, which are really, they're really done. This is a hard one. This is a hard one. I would consider this chapter being somewhat hard, but we're getting through it just fine. All right. And so, Brad, we're going to continue tomorrow. I suspect we'll pick up with finishing the grammars. I don't see any problem finishing that one. And after the grammars, what is it? It's
In science.
claims. Well,
Oh, that's the last little bit.
yeah. So I don't. That's not. That's just okay. Well, yeah, that is. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, damn. Oh, well.
Oh, my.
That's gonna be hard. All right, because we got to bring in truth. All right, truth and reciprocity. All right. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Go ahead, do your thing. What are you gonna say?
Wait, I just wanted someone to make a comment about how great that fireplace is. It looks good in your background, Curt.
Oh, that is a cute little fireplace. This used to be an in-law apartment, from my understanding.
That makes total sense.
It's actually absolutely perfect. I mean, if I would say, where would I want to live? If I took this layout, I would say, yep, pretty much. There you go. All right, guys. You have a great one. Thanks, Dr. Brad. Love you. Talk to you later.
Bye.